Tips are very important right now. Why? YouTube still hasn't paid me, which I knew was going to happen. Typically, I would have gotten paid yesterday, but YouTube payments get delayed by like upwards of 5 days when they try to pay you on a weekend. I dropped a lot of money on games this week, and I got bills due tomorrow. So any tips you give me today will help me to get through this basically really tight week. And then once I get paid by YouTube, things will be back to normal. So if you could tip me today, that would be tremendous. Thanks in advance. You know, I don't want to talk about it all day. Even though people like to pretend like I do, I really don't. I don't really mention it that much. I just do this one segment, and then I move on. It's hilarious when I get comments like, you know, Phil, no one else on the internet talks about sponsorships and crowdfunding as much as you. I was like, so I talk about it one segment every podcast. And then during a live stream, I'll just mention, hey, you can support if you can. Let's hit a goal or whatever. Maybe once a half an hour, if once an hour, during a 2-hour stream at night. So what are you talking about? That's the thing. You got to listen to the wrong people, and you think that that's all I do. I barely even mention it these days. I purposefully want to keep this out of the content. It's a necessary evil, right? I'm a crowdfunded individual. I don't make a lot of ad revenue. I don't get a lot of views on YouTube. I'm crowdfunded. Like I said, I'm a curator. I'm not really a content creator. I'm a content curator. I'm making content specific to the audience that wants it, and people support it because of it. And I appreciate that people step up and support the content they love, right? That's why I'm still able to make a living doing this, quite frankly. So I'm appreciative of everything I get, and I don't want to sit here and talk about it all day ad nauseum. It bothers me. I just want to make content that you guys love and have a good time doing it, and that's it. That's what I'm all about, you know? But these idiots, of course, on the internet say otherwise. I just ignore them because it's not true. Everything they say is full of shit, so I just ignore the nonsense now.
All right, so I was doing research for another video recently, and I came across that clip, and it gave me an idea for this video. Now, we all know DSP doesn't ask for support constantly, and that he definitely doesn't want to talk about it all day. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot troll from Argentina to think something like that. But since I'm obviously from Argentina, I went to PigPigGo and typed in a couple of variations of I'm not going to mention this all day. And to everyone's surprise, I'm sure, a bunch of results came up. So I figured I'd play a few clips at a time and then jump in afterwards to break them down. Most of the clips are about money, but not all of them. A couple of them are just fucking ridiculous. But in that original clip, he says people are always commenting that no one else on the internet talks about sponsorships and crowdfunding as much as he does. He says that he brings it up usually once during his pre-stream, and then he'll maybe mention it once per hour during his gameplay. And it's basically our fucking fault, because we've somehow convinced everybody that he begs all the time. Well, I'm glad you said that, Phil, because I'm going to show you in this video how full of shit you are. He also threw in that he's a content curator, not a content creator, and that he makes his stuff for a group of people that want to watch what he does. Phil, you're essentially streaming for OIC. Yeah, there's a couple of other whales from time to time, but this guy has given you so much money under so many names in the last 4 years. He might as well claim you as a fucking dependent on his taxes. And quite frankly, I hope he gets fucked over on his taxes as well. But let's go ahead and listen to the first two clips because we have a long way to go.
Yeah. DSP fan dude did a 100-bit cheer and he said, thanks for the money, dummies, hashtag charity. A little spin on, you know, things that I say when I get troll cheers and troll tips and stuff. In fact, I did get a troll tip and I'm not going to mention it. But anyway, yes, thank you, DSP fan dude, you gave to charity. Then DSP fan dude did another 100-bit cheer. He said, how much have you donated to Harvey victims, Philip, hashtag charity? I'll be real with you, nothing. Because I don't have any money to donate right now. However, I have donated to charities in the past, and I plan to hopefully be back on my feet financially at some point in my life where I'll be able to do so in the future. The difference here is that I don't publicly speak about it. Okay? I don't. I've always been of the belief that charity is something to be kept to yourself because it's supposed to be a humble thing. If you're helping someone, you're helping them for the sake of helping, not to publicly display that you did something nice to make you look good. Charity should not benefit the person who is giving the charity. That is my belief. May not be your belief, it's my belief, my personal belief. And therefore, that's why you've never heard me talk about charity or you know, oh, you know, this and that, and donate to this, and here I'm doing it or anything. No, I don't believe that, all right? So, there you go. Outside of all that, guys, the only other thing I have to say before we start getting to shout-outs is if you really want to help me out the most right now, because I just mentioned a ridiculous amount of stuff, right? I mentioned Patreon, Teespring, cheering, subbing, tipping. The best way you can help me out in the short term is to tip me. Why? Well, right now, I'm in the middle of a pretty big financial problem. The problem is that in the month of July, YouTube disabled my advertisements for 3 weeks. I didn't do anything wrong to prompt this. They just did it internally because they're a bunch of fucking idiots, and they screwed everything up. And it took me 3 weeks to get them to stop dragging their feet, realize their mistake, and reverse their decision. That being said, when they did that, I had no money for 3 weeks coming in, and normally I would be getting a paycheck around now from YouTube, and I didn't get it this month because they screwed me over. That being said, I still have to pay my bills, all right? And the next payment I'm going to receive from anyone will be from Twitch, and that usually hits on the 15th or 16th of the month. So I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know, I got to pay bills, but I'm not getting the money I should be have made, and it's YouTube's fault. So what you can do to help me is tip me. If you tip me right now, I will get that money immediately and be able to put it towards bills. So please consider, if you are going to contribute at all today and you have the ability to choose, please tip me. And you know, I'm looking forward to a positive stream. I'm not going to be mentioning this all day. That's the difference between me and a lot of other streamers. They have plugs and everything in between. I don't. I just do the plug segment. I get out of the way. And then we basically just enjoyed the fun of the game that I played during that day, all right? So, you know, please consider tipping me and or supporting in any other way, but tipping is the best way. And now let's get to shoutouts.
In the first clip, somebody cheers and says, "Thanks for the money, dummies." And DSP says it's a play on something he says from time to time. Didn't he just say recently that he's never said that before? I could be wrong, but I thought I heard him say something like that. But then the same person cheers again and asks how much Phil has donated to Harvey Weinstein's victims. And DSP says nothing because he doesn't have any money to give to charity. Remember when his bankruptcy documents came out? He said he was averaging about $9,000 per month, but he doesn't have anything he can spare. And remember the original clip. We're the ones that make it seem like he's begging all the time, and we take it out of context. Yet here he is in 2017 saying he can't give anything to charity because he doesn't have any money, and that he hopes to be back on his feet in the future so things can turn around for him. Well, how did that work out for you, Phil? And then in the second clip, which is exactly 1 year later, he says he really needs your tips right now because he's, quote, in a really big financial problem. And that financial problem is that YouTube suspended his ads for 3 weeks. Mind you, he was still live streaming this entire time. So it's not like he wasn't getting tips, his Patreon, his Teespring, and whatever the silent majority was sending him behind the scenes. No, it was YouTube's fault. And they absolutely ruined him because he didn't have ads for 3 weeks. So now he can't pay all his bills. I wonder what bills those could have been, Phil. And don't forget that Soulmate number 2 had already moved in at this point, and she had that totally real job that allowed her to transfer across the country, but yet they still can't afford everything. He then ends the clip by saying he's not like other streamers. They have plug segments and stuff, and he just has one plug segment that he needs to get out of the way. Call me stupid, Phil, but those sound like the exact same things, you fucking idiot. Now get ready for this next clip. It's 5 minutes long, but there is so much gold dust in it, you would think you were back in the WWF.
And it's, you know what I mean? It's just gonna balloon and let the idiots believe what they want. And I'm gonna be here on my streams every day having fun, playing games. And by the way, it hasn't negatively affected anything if you guys aren't aware. You know, everything's been good. People have been showing up for streams and participating, and people have helped me out tremendously in the past couple weeks with contributions towards the tax situation and everything. So everything's been good. All right. So then, this particular week coming up, I mentioned a couple days ago that I was going to be doing a fundraising stream on Saturday because this is kind of like the last push to try to get people to pledge to my Patreon so we can hit the monthly goal for this month and so that we can do these Metal Gear Solid events in January. All right. I really need the support right now because I need these funds by the end of January to pay what this impending tax bill is. So I'm trying to motivate people to pledge to my Patreon. In particular, that's really what this event is for, to get people to pledge. All right. So that being said, all right, I announced this event immediately, of course. Oh God, Phil's going to do a fundraiser. We don't want Phil to be successful. We don't want Phil to be able to pay his taxes. We want him to lose his house and all this. So let's see what's the next possible thing we can fucking do here. All right, let's see what we can do. So again, trying to make shit up. I saw things over the past couple of days. They really went in like hardcore. And I guess now they're posting on fucking things like, I don't even know. First of all, I don't even know what Kiwi Farms is. I'm just going to bring that up. I don't even know what it is. I honestly don't know. I guess it's supposed to be like a drama-esque forums somewhere. I have absolutely no idea where this is or what it is. All right. But apparently this person, this person who had this Twitter account claiming to be an escort is now posting up on some Kiwi Farms thread. I have all this information on Phil. Here's what we did during our time off or whatever, whatever. Stupid shit. So apparently there was a post. This is how stupid this is. All right, wait till you hear. You're not going to believe how stupid this is because I can't believe how stupid this is. It's just so dumb. Apparently there's a post from this person claiming that during the time when this escort was staying with me, she made me her homemade recipe of Dutch brownies. Okay. Whatever. I have someone who has been a longtime fan of mine and a supporter and a moderator as well on various different things like my forums or my stream chat and stuff like that over the years. Okay, and this person has helped me out tremendously. In fact, sometimes they go behind the scenes of stuff going on with these people who seek to hurt me and gets inside information. This is a person who I trusted over the years. They've helped me out tremendously. There's been a few times when they caught stuff going on either on my forums or in stream chat or behind the scenes with people who were trying to do nasty shit to me, and they've helped me out tremendously. All right. Somehow this person allowed themselves to get sucked into the black hole of drama and bullshit. Okay. I don't know why, but they did. And apparently they're actually starting to at least be skeptical of this person who's claiming they're an escort that came and visited me in early December. Now you might even say to yourself, well, why is it a big deal if Phil had an escort come and visit in December? Well, first of all, I'm against the practice. I've said this many times before. I've never in my life been a guy who's had an issue, with women. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to spend time with a woman, I have whatever you want to call it, whether it's charm or whatever, I'm able to get a woman and spend time with her. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be, significant other, someone who I spend, a long relationship with. Those things come few and far between. But I'm saying I've never had a problem with the ladies. Let's put it that way. I've never in my life paid for a woman. I never would. Now, I'm sure there's people out there who do, and everyone's going to have a different opinion, all right? For me, that's like ludicrous. That's actually against my personal philosophy. I would rather be alone. Seriously, I would rather be alone than pay for an escort. But the real reason why this is all controversial is because what the people who hate me are trying to spin this as is Phil doesn't have a tax situation. Phil doesn't owe taxes. Phil did not get screwed over by a tax attorney in Connecticut. He's literally making it up. He owes money to an escort. All right. There you go. He's lying. So anytime that he's doing stuff to try to help himself, to help himself with the taxes, he's really raising money to pay the escort. All right. That's what the idiots are trying to spin all this as, even though it's literally 100% wrong. It's 100% fabricated.
So let me get this straight. You were flying a woman in from across the country for multiple staycations, and so you could run Pignosis on her. I mean, let's keep it real. But the escort stuff and you paying for another woman wasn't true. They sound pretty similar to me. And then this dumbass says it's not true because if he wanted to get with a woman, he could do it pretty easily. He says that he has charm and that he's never really had a problem getting with the ladies. Is that why you had to drag an 18-year-old girl across the country away from her family while you were damn near 30? Is that why you had to get a female who was a fan of yours and supposedly in a relationship with another guy at the time? Is that what you call charm, Phil? Because I'd call that a desperate fucking guy who would take any woman as long as they're willing to cook and clean for him. But I guess we have different definitions of the word charm. But in the beginning of the clip, he says that he's going to have to hold a fundraiser for his tax problem. And that as soon as he announced it, all the fucking trolls came in and said, oh my God, another fundraiser. We don't want Phil to be successful. If you're having to do multiple fundraisers for yourself, I don't think you're very successful, buddy. Now, if you were holding a fundraiser for, let's say, charity, then okay, maybe you could call that a success. But like you said earlier, you don't even have any money that you could give to a charity. In fact, you are the charity. What the fuck are you talking about? And like I've said before, I find it funny that you can fly this woman out multiple times and then eventually move her in with you but at the same time, you have this huge tax problem and don't have any money for charity. Seems kind of Shawn Michaels to me, Phil. He then says he doesn't know what Kiwi Farms is or where it's at. It's on the fucking moon, Phil. Go look for it, dipshit.
All right. Outside of everything I just mentioned, guys, right now, being very honest with you, and I'm just going to mention this briefly because I don't want the whole stream to become about it. Financially, right now, I'm not doing well at all. In fact, a bunch of bills just cleared, and I'm almost 100% drained, and I got more bills coming up. I don't get paid by Twitch until the 15th of the month, all right? So right now, things are not good financially for me, and they're not going to be pretty tight for the next week and a half at least, and then, of course, the next couple of months. I'm trying to negate some annoying bad stuff that happened, and it really sucks, and it's very annoying, but there's nothing I can do about it, all right? It's been your tips during streams in the last month that have kept me afloat. If you guys hadn't tipped me the way you did, I would have been completely screwed financially. So you guys are helping me get out of this situation, all right? That being said, the best way to support me right now is to tip me during a stream. Hilarious, huh? So I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, here we go again. So, this is what the stuff that happens behind the scenes that you guys don't hear about. But this negatively affects me in a huge way. So now, somehow, this month, I need to make up for it on Twitch, right? On Twitch, I need to make up for the fact that YouTube is so far down that when I get paid by YouTube this month, I'm getting paid almost, way lower than what I usually get paid because those jackasses couldn't get any fucking ads for July. Like, that's my fucking fault. It's not, but I get punished for it. And this is why I can't make a living on YouTube. Can you imagine people who are still trying to make a living just on YouTube? Like, that's a nightmare, dude. That's just nightmare fuel. Like, every day you could wake up and find out you made no money because these assholes couldn't do their fucking jobs and bring in advertisers. That's terrible. So, I'm very, very happy that I am here as a live streamer and that this is what I do. All right? I love it. This is so much better than relying on YouTube. That being said, I rely on your contributions during streams because of things like this happening behind the scenes with YouTube. All right? So, if you love these daily live streams, and if you love the fact that I still tough it out and upload the videos to YouTube every day, despite the fact that I go through all this shit, please consider contributing in one of the following ways. All right? I appreciate all contributions. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this.
You still tough it out and go through all this shit. I don't know how you do it, buddy. You might be, overall, one of the toughest men in the country. It doesn't make sense why you're crying on stream all the time, though. It doesn't add up. But in the first clip, he says, quote, financially, I'm not doing well at all. Phil, I thought you only did a plug segment once during the pre-stream and mentioned it again like once per hour. I don't know, man. It seems like you've been feigning distress and crying poor for years, telling people your sob stories about how you can never afford all your bills. And if that's not bad enough, while he's doing all that, he's talking about all the different ways you can give him money. His YouTube paycheck, his Twitch payment, Patreon, and of course tips. This is how dumb these people are. He's telling them all these sources of revenue, but yet he somehow doesn't have any money. And in the second clip, he's saying he couldn't imagine relying on YouTube in order to survive. He doesn't know how other people do it. Well, I'm glad you're back home on YouTube where you belong, Phil. Hopefully you're enjoying it here.
No, I never went to AA when I drank. It's Alcoholics Anonymous for those who don't know. I never went to that. Do I think my detractors today are worse than the SOK? I would say no. I would actually say the detractors today are not as bad. That in the past they were actually more malicious because they would actually actively try to destroy my business just for the sake of doing it. Like, they would false copyright strikes, you know what I mean? Like, really, really fucked up stuff behind the scenes that I'm not going to mention that just didn't make sense because it wasn't going to have any kind of an effect. They just wanted to hurt me completely. They wanted to destroy me as a human being. Today, the people who do stuff do it to make money, right? All the popular guys who all they do is make fun of me, they do it for attention and to make money. That's the reason they do it, because they're fucking have no talent, and they found out that being negative assholes on the internet can make money. So that's why it's that exists. But the SOK didn't make money doing it. They literally were so messed up in their heads. They had this weird cultish brainwashed mentality that doing what they were doing somehow had a positive impact on the planet. And it was just hilarious, some of the shit that they did, right? Oh, we're gonna do a drive to build a well over in like Africa or some shit. It's like, but Today alone, you did 5 disgusting, malicious, insulting, illegal, slanderous things to Phil, but you built a well in Africa. So, big deal. What you're doing is you're trying to justify your actually heinous, immoral, illegal actions, right? By going ahead and doing something completely unrelated, right? It's like crazy. It was like almost like by doing this, they could say you can just ignore all the nasty, crazy, insane shit we do because we put a well in Africa. It was just like, what? It's just so insane, dude. You know. I don't know. That's just nutty shit, dude. PW Dubs to me, can I get your autograph? I'm interested in it. I'd be willing to purchase it. I'm not trolling. No. Right now, I'm not doing autographs. The only time you get my autograph is by chance if you just happen to encounter me in person and you have something on you want me to sign. But I don't do any autographs by mail. Nothing like that. Sorry. I don't do that stuff. I'm a full-time streamer. And I don't have time for it. I'm sorry. Yeah, there was a time when I used to be able to take time off and meet and greets at conventions and shit. And I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry.
Hey, PW Dubs, our old friend. Where you been, buddy? Phil really misses you. But he starts the clip with, no, I never went to AA when I drank. What do you mean when you drank? You drink every fucking day. Nobody goes to Total Wine every single week and spends between $50 and $100 if they aren't drinking constantly. And I'm not one to preach about AA or any shit like that, but between that, the mobile games, the DoorDash, you got some issues, bro. Somebody then asks him, do you think your detractors today are worse than the SOK? And Phil says no because the SOK tried to destroy him as a human being. And that detractors today are just out for money and attention. I can only speak for myself, but I damn sure don't do this for the money. Because if I did, I would have been restreaming every chance I got trying to clean up on your ass. No, Phil, I do this because I hate you. And I think you're scum for what you do to people. It's that simple. And trust me, I understand why you don't like me, why you went after me, and why you sent your little bitch after me. But it's going to take a lot more than that to get me to go away.
There we go. An anonymous dollar tipper says, you mentioned the other day you watch other streams, saw no difference between theirs and yours. Were they also burping, crushing bottles, and snorting directly into the mic? Yeah. In fact, when I was watching Booger McFartinson, he actually just flicks his boogers at the camera. It's pretty amazing. No, in reality, you know, some of the people that I've been watching are actually, if you can believe it, they do my old style of gameplay, all right? They actually don't even have a webcam. I've been watching 2 or 3 people who don't do webcams. They just do no-cam playthroughs on YouTube, and somehow they're still popular. I was told years ago that's not possible. Doing playthroughs with no camera is not possible. Everyone needs a webcam now, right? So for the last 3 years, I fully adopted the whole webcam content creation style, and now I'm finding there are very popular people on YouTube making videos who don't even have webcams, which is hilarious. Some of them, you know what it is, and some of them, I'll be honest, some of them have short videos. Everyone complained that my videos were too short. There's some guys out there that do, 20-minute, 30-minute videos, and they're prospering. I'm telling you guys, it's all the things you've been told about what you need to be successful on YouTube is complete bullshit. All it is conditioning by shitheads who basically wanted to justify the reason why people shit on me. Oh, it's because his videos are too short. Oh, it's because he burps or this. No, the reason is because trolls are fuckheads who latched onto me. They found out there's no way for me to retaliate for their disgusting behavior, and they benefit by making fun of me. That's why. That's why I'm not as popular as I could be, because of the trollish shitheads who hang off my ass like dingleberries, and I can't get them off no matter how much I wipe and scrape. Okay? So, nothing I can do about it, right? But I'm not here to talk about that all day. There's many people who are very popular on YouTube, and they don't have to deal with the shit that I do. By the way, they don't even do half the stuff that I do. But they're still more popular. So there you go. Boom. And just like that, we're halfway to the tips goal for the Halloween stream event. And by the way, I should say this, guys. Normally, in a normal day, I would do 2 streams, and each stream would have a $100 tips goal. All right? I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to make it 1 tips goal. All right? And if we hit it, great. Obviously, since normally I would do 2 streams in one day, and I would try to raise $200 via tips, it would be appreciated. If we actually do hit $200 today raised, it would be great. It would obviously help me out with the cost of all the games coming up. But today is more about Halloween festivities than anything else. I'm not going to make it about fundraising and shit. So, you know, you're not going to hear me talking about tips goals constantly or anything like that. Today's just about having fun. Obviously, if we're having a good time, maybe contributions will come in naturally. Remember, that's always my philosophy. If we're putting out a fun, entertaining stream, we're all having a good time together, people are going to like that and want to support that, right? It's not about me having to mention it every 10 seconds. So, I'm only going to have one tips goal today. Thank you in advance if we hit it. If we double it, that would be great, because that would be what I usually aim for during a normal day with 2 streams. But outside of this, I'm not going to be mentioning this all day long. Fair enough? Okay. Now, let's read out what Technical 2070 had to say. They say, Phil, you are a streamer who's made a tremendous impact on my life. Your YouTube videos have always been a safe haven to resort to when life can suck sometimes. The streams are also a nice interactive experience with you that will always rock. Thank you, Technical 2070. Very generous contribution. A great way to get stuff started today, obviously. I really appreciate that. So thank you. All right, we now move on to the first cheer of the day, which is from Timbo Slice. So let's get him up on the leaderboard. I don't know if he'll hold the top cheer spot, but he is the first cheerer.
Hey, Timbo, where you been, buddy? We're getting the whole gang back together here. But let's start with the first clip, because I have something to show you once we get to the second one. Somebody tips $1 and asks, do other streamers burp, fart, and cough into the mic like he does? And instead of just laughing at it or rolling with it, he has to turn it into a bitch fest about how other people are more popular than him, despite the fact that some of them don't use face cam. And they upload videos the way he used to do it, but he evolved and started doing everything that people asked him to do, and he's still stuck where he is now. He then throws in that it's our fault that he has the reputation that he does, and why new fans don't give him a chance. It's definitely not because they see what type of person you are and leave almost immediately. No, it's because we spread lies about you. And speaking of spreading lies about you, the second clip was from Halloween Day of 2020. And he says he's only doing 1 stream that day, so it would be nice if people wanted to tip him extra so he can afford all the new games coming up. And just out of curiosity, I went to check the bank leaks for that day, and let me show you what he did. Remember, that was October 31st of 2020. On the 28th, we have an Apple iTunes charge for $380.50. On the 29th, we have an Apple iTunes charge for $533. And on November 2nd, we have an Apple iTunes charge for $210. That means in a 6-day span, he did 3 microtransactions for $1,125. But he needs their help because he may not be able to afford all the extra games that are coming up. You know what, Phil? You're right about people not liking you based on what we say about you. The difference is, we're not spreading lies, we're showing people who you really are. And that's why they decide to not stick around. That's why you can't get any new fans. And that's why it's the same regards, creating new accounts, pretending to be new people over and over. And I love it. You get exactly what you deserve.
Such a surprise that LTG influenced my hairstyle. He mentioned the other day that I should get a fade. Yes, you see you guys don't know this, but I look up to LTG and I idolize him as a paragon of what the male should embody, what a true male should embody. You may not realize this, I'm the person who gives him about $30 every day so he'll turn on his webcam so I can see that massive Adonis-like form so that I know exactly what I should model my life after. So when he said I should get a fade, I ran to the hairdresser. I just ran to, I said, buzz that shit right the fuck off right now. Do it. And they did it. It was amazing. My life's never been... Oh my god. I know it's not a fade. I didn't get a fade, stupid. It's a joke. Someone just said, that's not a fade. We're joking. No shit, it's not a fade. Someone said, he said my beard was fake, not my haircut. He's right there. You see, what I do is I go to the abandoned Toys R Us stores. Remember, Toys R Us went out of business. And I look for Toys R Us that still have, like, abandoned stock. And I go and I open up the containers of, like, dolls. And I rip the doll hair out. And then what I do is I cut it up and I paste it to my face with glue. Elmer's glue and doll hair. That's how it looks like I have a beard. It's not really my hair. Of course. Everyone knows this. Alright. Hunter Osborne just did a super chat. Says, I've been a fan since Red Dead DSP. Congrats on sticking around this long. Most creators can't stay the same. Thank you very much, Hunter, for the support. I appreciate that. Now, guys, just to get this out of the way, because I don't want to be mentioning this all night, okay? We're about 15 minutes into the stream. I've already got a bunch of super chats, which is great. No tips, and the problem is right now, in this short term, this next week, I need as much help with tips as humanly possible to pay bills. So if you have the option to support a different way, great. But if you could tip me, please do. I'm not looking to give Torsten them out. If all you could do is super chat tonight, thank you. That's going to help me next month. That's going to help me tremendously. But I need help with tips in the short term, man. I do. So if you can, please tip me. It's going to help me a ton. And also, sadly, I hate to say it, but if I have a night with 0 tips, it's going to completely negate the positivity that I had the past couple of days, because you know what I'm saying? It all evens out, and I don't want it to. So please, if you can support, please tip me tonight. I'm not asking for anything you guys can't afford. I'm not asking for anyone to go out of their way. I'm just saying, if you've been, oh man, I did a super chat, I didn't realize that Phil needed help with tips. Please tip me, okay? Thank you. All right, let's continue. I'm not going to mention it all night. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Okay. No lousy lobsters. I just explained they're not the same. I don't get anything from super chats till August. I need help right now with tips to pay bills, okay? All right, thank you. Now let's continue.
One plug segment per stream, maybe mention it once per hour. Oh, I really need help with tips. If I don't get any tips, it's going to negate all the positivity from the last few days. And then he even says, it's all going to even out, and I don't want it to. Think about that for a second. Evening out isn't good enough for him. It always has to be more. Always. What a greedy ass piece of shit. But Shawn Michaels actually made an appearance there as well. Someone did a super chat and said, I've been a fan since Red Dead DSP. Congrats on sticking around this long. Most creators can't say the same. Almost immediately after reading that out, and go back and watch it if you don't believe me, he starts begging for tips and telling people that he's not going to keep mentioning it all night, and how breaking even isn't good enough for him. Well, that guy was definitely right, Phil. You haven't changed, and you never will. Good job, buddy. But in the first clip, he makes fun of LTG's $30 to turn on the webcam shit that he does. Phil, it wouldn't surprise me if you were the one giving LTG $30 every day so he could turn on his face cam. But I'd bet the order actually came from the lovely cat. I mean, she watches other video game streamers, right? Hint, hint. But I just can't get over the line when LTG said he needed a fade. DSP ran to the hairdresser. Phil, you sassy little bitch. I can just see you skipping your way to the hairdresser, asking for a bowl cut. Get the fuck out of my face. But then he makes some joke about going to abandoned Toys R Us, getting the little dolls out, and removing their facial hair so he can glue it onto himself. Why the fuck would that even pop into your head? What's wrong with you? No wonder he has fans like Derek and NDO and Haseo. This shit is disgusting.
So, yeah, stressful day for me today, to say the least, okay? Stressful day. Let's see how today goes. I'm hoping we have fun on streams. I'm hoping that I do get paid, you know? I'm hoping that it's not, you know, stress mania today. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Again, there's no reason why I shouldn't have gotten paid. It's just not logical that it didn't happen yet. Let's hope that it happens over the course of today. But here's the thing. Thank God that this week my day off changed. What if my day off was scheduled for Tuesday like usual and I was counting on this money coming through? It's not here. What happened? I would have had a day off with no money. And I'm sitting at home doing nothing, and I probably would have had to have an additional day off to do everything tomorrow. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm just venting. I'm just letting you guys know that's what's going on with me. So if you notice today, I might be on edge. If you notice today, I'm kind of stressed out. That's what's going on with me. 5 different things have already happened. And the thing is, like, it seems like today is going to be the torrent of shit. Like, it really feels to me like today, the sky's going to open and a big diarrhea rainstorm is going to come down on my head. It's coming right on me. Oh, yeah. Come on, unload. And I guess that's okay. As long as it happens today and then tomorrow's fine, I guess that's all right. So if anything that can go wrong happens today, I guess we'll get it out of the way, right? So how can you help? All right? Matter of factly, tip me today. That's it. That's really, you know, first of all, be positive on my streams, please. I need some nice positivity today. Let's have fun today. Let's chill. Let's relax with a classic of Castlevania and another classic in Toy Story 2. Let's have a good retro throwback day, okay? No negativity, no shitty attitudes, no people being fucking dickheads, all right? Just be nice and positive. That would really help me out. But if you want to help concretely, tipping would help. Yes, if you tip me today, those are funds I can use for my day off tomorrow. Right now, I don't have even close to enough funds for my day off tomorrow because I was budgeting for having a payment come through. It didn't come through. So now I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. So yes, tipping today would absolutely positively help alleviate my worries about my day off tomorrow. Okay? Thank you in advance to anyone who would do that. AMC, I'm not timing you out because I've had enough of your bullshit. I literally just said, let's not be dicks to me today, and here you are, so enjoy your time out. Fucking stupid idiot. Okay. So, now, let us continue on. I'm not going to be mentioning this all day. I just want to get off my chest because, yes, it's bothering me a lot. Okay. All right.
And that's the last clip for the video. But we end with perfection as he's stressing out because his YouTube payment hasn't come in yet. He says, thank God that he switched his day off around because if it was today, he would be stuck at home with no money. Again, where the fuck is Ket's money at? How is she unable to pay for anything? But he wants you to believe that she was paying for those flights across the country herself and those staycations. Don't worry, if she was paying for her own share. Just trust him. But then we get, so how can you help? Matter of factly, tip me today, that's it. He then realizes what he just said and then tries to cover it up with, first of all, be positive. I need some nice positivity today. Let's have fun, let's chill, and let's be positive. Fucking snake in the grass type shit. But remember, we're the ones that make him look bad. People can't see this for themselves and come up with their own conclusion. No, it's because we're spreading lies about him. Kind of like that lie I spread earlier about him spending $1,100 in 6 days on microtransactions while saying he needs help to afford all the new games coming up. Or like that other lie that I told about him copyright striking me and crying about me to YouTube that I'm bullying him. Nope, I made that one up too. And I did it strictly for the money and for attention. And maybe one day I'll build a well out in Beverly Hills somewhere so all the little rich kids can finally have some drinking water, courtesy of Phil Burnell.
Keep it going, keep it going. Real talk, all right? But right now, I absolutely need help with tips. Again, please, if you can, please tip me tonight. Tips have been slow recently, all right? So, if you want to help me out, please tip me, okay? So, please, if you can, please tip me this week. I'm just saying, tips would be preferred. Please tip me. Tipping is, I need help to pay these bills on Monday. So, please, tip me if you can, all right? Now, since tipping is so important, please tip me. So, what was I saying? I got distracted. Hold on. Tips. Duh. The point I'm making here is if you would like to support the streams, please tip me. Tips are what I'm going to need right now because I get them right away.